Hello, many thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa News. My name is Felicity Ezewike. President Muhammadu Buhari is visiting China to participate in the 7th summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, scheduled to hold September 3 to 4th, 2018 in Beijing. According to a statement by the president's spokesman, Femi Adesina, on Thursday, Buhari's first engagement in the country will be an interactive session with the Nigerian community in China at the Nigerian embassy. He is also expected to deliver his remarks as the current chairman of ECOWAS at a high-level dialogue between Chinese and African leaders, business representatives, and African entrepreneurs. The president will be accompanied to Beijing by his wife, Aisha, to participate in a spouses program on China-Africa at the Great Hall of the People under the theme, Joining Hands for a Future of AIDS. Some of the governors of the president's entourage are Governor Mohammed Abdullahi Abubakar of Bauchi State and Kiwumi Ambode of Lagos State, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State, and Rochas Okorocha of Imo State. The Deputy Director, Public Relations of the Theatre Command Operation Lafayette Dole, Colonel Oyema Wachuku, confirmed in a statement on Friday that the Nigerian army has killed several Boko Haram terrorists in Zari village in Guzamala local government area of Borno State. According to him, the insurgents were on rampage to loot the community and extort money from villagers. They, however, met fierce resistance by the land troops of Operation Lafayette Dole, who were also supported by troops of the Air Task Force. The federal government says it has developed a $6.7 billion robust plan of action for the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement of the Northeast development by Boko Haram activities. Nigerian's ambassador, permanent representative to the UN, Professor Tijani Bande, revealed this at a side event tagged Strengthening the Humanitarian and Development Partnership in the Lake Chad region, held at the UN headquarters. The Nigerian envoy said that the comprehensive socio-economic plan, known as Buhari Plan, aimed to advance the humanitarian and development nexus in the country, noting that Nigeria was spearheading the event. Top government official and representatives present at the event were Magagi Luan, Minister of Humanitarian Action and Disaster Management of the Republic of Niger, Alfay Mustafa, permanent representative of Chad to the UN, and Michel Monte, the permanent representative of Cameroon to the UN. In their separate comments, they pledged to promote a cross-border collaboration and cooperation among countries of the Lake Chad region, the donors, and a whole range of humanitarian and development partners. Meanwhile, the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has dissolved the Kano State Executive Committee of the party. In a statement issued on Friday, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Kola Olobodiyan, said the NWC reached a decision at the end of its last meeting, noting that the dissolution was with immediate effect. Consequently, a caretaker committee was constituted to pilot the affairs of the state chapter of the party. The Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has rejected President Muhammadu Buhari's comment that national security takes precedence over the rule of law. President Buhari made the comment while declaring open the 58th Annual General Conference of the NBA some days ago. In its communique issued at the end of the conference on Friday, the association said it rejected President Buhari's comment, insisting that the rule of law was central to democracy and that national security must be managed within the parameters of the rule of law. Nigeria and Germany on Friday signed two memoranda of understanding in agriculture and commerce as part of the visit of the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The first agreement was signed between the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture and the German Africa Business Association. The second agreement was signed between the Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending and the PECOS Technologies GmbH, a company that specializes in post-harvest agricultural value chain. Speaking after the signing of the MOUs, Nigeria's Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enalema, said the agreement would increase collaboration between Nigeria and Germany in the two areas. With yesterday being the final day and countdown to the end of voters' registration, many Nigerians are still finding it difficult to get registered, and others who finally do so with a whole lot of stress. Here's a report from one of the voter registration points.
Chaos, disorganization, and pandemonium. This is the scene as we count down to the final hours of voters' registration.
Here at the Lagos State Model Nursery and Primary School, it is chaotic. There's a huge crowd out here trying to get registered.
Some Nigerians have come out to be a part in the decision-making and selection of their government. Some say they are, however, greeted with hostility and partiality, having spent days on end with no hope of getting registered.
Today now, all the number they have hit today is like 1,000 plus. And they haven't even mentioned one today yet. Any big man that come around, we just come, park their car, go in. Imagine one big man came, I was standing in front of there. The big man just came with bodyguard, with mopos. We just enter, and I was standing.
People have been here since 4 a.m. 4 a.m. this morning, and people that just came now, they will come with mopo, they will be cleared, and they will go immediately. The thing is just outrageous.
INEC officials declined to comment and would not allow filming on the premises. But many people upset with the registration process spoke with Plus TV Africa, faulting the limited resources with allegations of INEC officials requesting for a fee before voters can be registered.
One guy came to me and was demanding for 5,000 to get me this thing, 5,000. This thing, this is nonsense, it's rubbish. Can't do this in this country. And when you go through this and you vote them in, they still molest you, they still oppress you with all the sufferings you've gone through. This is wrong. It is wrong, we need to change.
I cannot imagine myself paying 25,000 or 20,000 naira to get my voter's card. Not even voting. It's outrageous.
With the conclusion of the extended voters registration, it is evident that 2 weeks is definitely not enough to successfully get voters registered.
What the government is supposed to do for us, like the vice president that is around, help us postpone the thing, give us more 1 month. And they declare more public holidays, 2 or 3 days, for people to be able to get their voters card.
As at 12:25, people have not gotten registered. It is expected that this exercise will be extended. If not, a lot of Nigerians are certain that they won't be able to exercise their civic right, which is to vote in 2019. Susan Jasper, Plus TV Africa.
Still keeping with voters' registration, the Nigerian Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has explained why it ended the exercise August 31st. INEC National Commissioner Solomon Soyebi has said that the commission needed ample time to effectively make preparations ahead of the 2019 general elections. According to Mr. Soyebi, the Commission needs 150 days stipulated by the law to embark on post-registration activities ahead of next year's polls. His comment comes 2 weeks after INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu announced the extension of the voters' registration. Mr. Soyebi also faulted people who had yet to avail themselves of the extension period, stating that the Commission already has about 14 million registered Nigerians. We will be right back after this quick break. Stay with us. And in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the efforts to curtail the outbreak of the deadly Ebola virus in the country appear to be working, this according to the World Health Organization, even though substantive risks remain. In a World Health Organization statement, recent trends suggest that control measures are working, citing improving figures for tracing patients' contacts, rapid treatment of Ebola patients with therapeutic drugs and vaccination of people at risk. The outbreak has so far killed 77 people in Congo's North Kivu and Ituri provinces, among 116 cases. 15 of the cases were health workers. Two tortured Ugandan legislators have been cleared by authorities to travel abroad to seek medical treatment. The two are musician-turned-member of Parliament MP Bobby Wine, real name Robert Kagulani, and Francis Zake. Bobby Wine is facing treason charges for his role in an attack on the president, while his partner is said to have escaped from police custody. He is to leave a statement with police before leaving the country. The two legislators had been blocked from leaving the country on Thursday evening with the reason that they had not gotten necessary permission to seek healthcare outside of Uganda. And Ethiopian Airlines and the government of Chad have signed an agreement to launch Chad's new national carrier on October 1st. Ethiopia's state-owned flag carrier is in talks with a number of African states to acquire stakes and manage operations, a strategy aimed at gaining a competitive advantage against rivals such as those in the Gulf. On Friday, the head of Chad's Civil Aviation Authority, Mohammed Adjam, told Reuters the new company will be named Chadia Airlines, with the government owning 51% and Ethiopian Airlines the rest. When we return, we'll bring you more news after the break. Stay with us. And Brazil's top electoral court has ruled that jailed former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva cannot run as a candidate in the presidential election because of his corruption conviction. Judges voted against his running in October's ballot by a majority of 6 votes to 1 in a 7-member court. The ex-president was leading in polls ahead of the vote despite serving a 12-year jail term for accepting a bribe. His legal team planned to appeal against the court's decision. And in the United States, the State Department has said it's ending all funding for the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency. The spokeswoman, Heather Hewitt, said the U.S. administration has carefully reviewed the issue and will not make additional contributions to United Nations Relief and Works Agency. She described the organization, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, as irredeemably flawed. A spokesman for Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, assailed the U.S. announcement Friday that it will end all funding to the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees as a flagrant assault against all Palestinians. Contentious U.S.-Canada trade talks ended on Friday with no deal to revamp the North American Free Trade Agreement, and President Donald Trump notified Congress of his intent to sign a bilateral trade pact with Mexico. After 4 intensive days of talks in Washington between Canada and the United States, the biggest sticking points were familiar ones: United States demands for more access to Canada's closed dairy market and Canadian insistence that a trade dispute settlement system be maintained, not scrapped, as Washington wants. All 3 countries have stressed the importance of North America Free Trade Agreement, which underpins $1.2 trillion in regional trade. Up next is our business reports. And in business, African Airlines July traffic up by 6.8%, second highest among other regions. That's according to International Air Transport Organization, IATA. July international passenger demand rose 5.3% compared to July 2017, which was a deceleration compared to 8.2% growth recorded in June. Total capacity climbed 4.7% and load factor edged up half a percentage point to 85.0%. All regions reported growth, led by Asia Pacific for the first time in 3 months. Although this represents a decline from 11.0% growth recorded in June, the seasonally adjusted trend remains strong. The Murtala Muhammed Airport 2 has been posting losses for the past 12 years, and that's according to the chairman of Kutni Aviation Services Limited, operator of the MMA2, Wale Babalanki San, on the sidelines of the 8th conferment lecture and ceremony of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in Abuja. According to him, the loss is due to the failure of government through its Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria in upholding the public-private partnership agreement that it entered with BASL. We built the MMA2. We've been running at a loss for the past 12 years. But to the undiscerning person, we're making a lot of money without knowing the cost of putting that infrastructure underground. And on the activities of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from Friday, our business correspondent David Elabi brings us up to date on all the trades and deals that took place.
Trading day of the week closed on a negative note as the all-share index dropped by 0.68% to close at 34,848.45 basis points. Okumu Oil led the list of top trades with a 5.75 naira rise in its share price, while Flour Mill also had a 1.30 naira rise from its previous close. Total led the list of top decliners with a 2.30 naira drop, while Nigerian breweries dropped by 2.10 naira. With a volume of 102.82 million shares valued at 124.453 million naira was Diamond Bank. Market capitalization for the day stood at 12.722 trillion naira and total deals was at 4,070. Reporting for Plus TV Africa, David Alabi.
Still ahead on Plus TV News, it's our roundup on entertainment. Stay with us. And in entertainment, former president and preachers joined a parade of singers Friday in a hip-swaying, piano-pounding farewell to Aretha Franklin, remembering the Queen of Soul as a powerful force of musical and political change, as well as a steadfast friend and family member. Aretha's singing challenged the dangling discords of hate and lies and racism and injustice. The pastor, William J. Barber II, said, "Her singing was revelation and was revolution." In a send-off both grand and personal, a celebrity lineup of mourners filled the St. Detroit Church. Guests included former President Bill Clinton, former First Lady Hillary Clinton, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and Smokey Robinson. Late Friday, Franklin was laid to rest at Woodlawn Cemetery, the final resting place of her father and 2 of her sisters.
And I say that because when word had went out that Miss Franklin passed, Trump said she used to work for me. No, she used to perform for you. She worked for us.
Her own very special category. Aretha's voice will be heard. Aretha's voice will be impacting. Aretha's voice will be influencing others literally for centuries to come.
And from South Africa, we hear the South African socialite and dancer Zadwa Wabantu is known for her sultry dance moves. But what many people don't know is that the local entertainer is also very business-minded and keen on giving back to the community. The South African dancer is keen on ensuring she's remembered and hopes to achieve this by creating a space for the youth to keep them off the streets. Also in entertainment, French actor Gerald Depardieu has been accused of sexual assault and rape by 22-year-old actress. The actress filed a complaint on Monday, according to French news sources. The unnamed actress is accusing Depardieu of having assaulted and raped her at his home on 2 occasions, on August 6 and August 13. A preliminary investigation has been launched. Depardieu's lawyer said that his client strongly denied the allegations. Depardieu is the second major French film industry figure to be accused of sexual assault, following prominent French director Luc Besson, who is still being investigated for allegedly raping a Dutch-Belgian actress, Sam Van Rooij. And that's it on entertainment, and wrap things up round nicely of events at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page, and that's Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do please join us again. My name is Felicity Ezewieke. Thank you for watching.